Chapter 122. Kendo Family. Boss. Jean DeBayo reacted very quickly, yelled, and stood up to block the knife from Ye Tian. Jean DeBayo possesses the spirit of the god and demon blood volume, and his short-range reflexes are even sharper than Ye Tian's. Looking for death. Ye Tian seemed to have expected Liang Yunfeng's actions. He roared coldly, and another sharp sword energy gushed out. Psst. The sword energy swept across, and Liang Yunfeng's arm was cut off in a flash of blood. Boom! At the same time, the golden sword slashed behind Jean DeBayo, and the latter fell to the ground without any injuries. Ye Tian knew that Jean DeBayo was wearing the golden thunder armor, so he was relieved to let the latter block the knife for him. The Jean Lei battle armor was naturally returned to the Jean family by the Qin family. Ye Tian was very surprised. What exactly was Jean DeBayo's spirit, and how could he be so sensitive? Ye Tian was able to react in an instant because he saw that Liang Yunfeng would not stop there, so he waited for Liang Yunfeng to make a move. Jean DeBayo reacted directly. This keen perception was stronger than Ye Tian. Ah! My arm. After a brief astonishment, Liang Yunfeng suddenly felt a sharp pain, and immediately howled ghostly. Ye Tian looked at Liang Yunfeng coldly, and said, "Liang Yunfeng, you hurt people behind your back. It's hateful. This time I'll teach you a lesson. Don't let me see you again next time." After speaking, Ye Tian turned around and walked into the practice field, leaving Liang Yunfeng howling on the ground in pain. Liang Yunfeng attacked Ye Tian from behind. Ye Tian didn't kill him, but just cut off his arm. If he wasn't in Baiyun College at this moment, Ye Tian would never show mercy to Liang Yunfeng. After all, Liang Yunfeng is a disciple of the inner court of Baiyun Academy, and he is also the person who manages the practice field. It would be troublesome to kill him in the practice field. Liang Yunfeng is still alive now, and with so many people testifying, he was the one who took the initiative to provoke, so even if trouble comes to the academy, with Chi Feng around, Ye Tian will be safe. Ye Tian won't stay at Baiyun Academy for too long. After a month, when he comes back from practicing with Ruoyu Qingye, Ye Tian will start to deal with the Bloodbat sect. Once the Bloodbat sect is eradicated, Ye Tian will leave Baiyun Academy, leave the Blue Cloud Empire, and go to a wider world. At least that's his plan. As for whether it can be implemented smoothly, it is unknown. When Ye Tian and Jean DeBayo came to the practice field, they saw that there were already people in the rows of practice rooms in front of them. Seeing that the training room in the last row was still empty, Ye Tian turned around and wanted to go in, but Jean DeBayo stopped him with his hand. "What's the matter?" Ye Tian asked. Jean DeBayo hesitated for a moment, but still said, "Boss, the 20 training rooms in this row are dedicated training rooms for the top 20 strong in the inner courtyard, and no one else can enter." Ye Tian was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "Baiyun Academy's regulations?" "No." Jean DeBayo shook his head. Seeing Jean DeBayo hesitating, Ye Tian immediately understood. Since it was not stipulated by the academy, it was obvious that the top 20 disciples of the inner courtyard forcibly occupied the practice room by their strength. Jean DeBayo was afraid that Ye Tian would forcibly enter the training room, so he didn't dare to speak out. These 20 training rooms, even when they are not around, no one else is allowed to enter, is it? Ye Tian asked directly. "In." Jean DeBayo had a worried look on his face, but he still nodded. What an overbearing top 20 disciples. Ye Tian smiled lightly, no longer hesitated, turned around, and was about to enter an empty training room in front of him. "Who let you in? Get out." Ye Tian just stepped into the training room with one foot, when there was a piercing growl behind him. Ye Tian frowned slightly, turned around, and saw a young man in a fancy dress staring at him angrily. A young man in fancy clothes, 15 or 16 years old, with sword eyebrows and starry eyes, and a handsome face, giving people a very cold and fierce feeling. Ye Tian looked at the handsome young man in front of him and was slightly startled. He felt an unusual aura from the opponent, a sword aura. There was a long sword on the boy's back, obviously a swordsman. It's interesting, this guy is a martial artist who specializes in swordsmanship. The corners of Nie Tien's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a rather playful smile. At this time, people around recognized the identity of the young man in Chinese clothes, and they were all shocked. He is Shang Mingjie, a disciple of the merchant from the family of swordsmanship. The merchant is the only family of swordsmanship in the Blue Cloud Empire, and all the merchants are devoted to swordsmanship. I heard that there is a copy of the high-level yellow rank sword formula in the family. I don't know if it is true or not. Huang rank advanced sword art. Really? It should be true. You see, Shang Mingjie, who was only 16 years old, entered the inner court last year. In just 1 year, he has already become a top 20 disciple in the inner court. It's terrifying. Nie Tien looked at Shang Mingjie and said in his heart, 16 years old, he has concentrated sword energy, and his talent in swordsmanship is barely considered scum. His strength is the 3rd level of Vientiane, and he has condensed sword energy. No wonder he can enter the top 20 in the inner court. Sword moves, sword skills, sword energy, each level of swordsmanship is an insurmountable mountain. The vast majority of people in the world are still at the stage of sword moves and swordsmanship, and only a very small number of people can condense sword energy. It is precise because of this that among warriors, there are very few people who specialize in the practice of swordsmanship. Shang Mingjie was able to condense sword energy at the age of 16, and his talent in swordsmanship was not too bad. However, compared with Nie Tien's talent, it's not just a point or two, but 1,000 points. Because Nie Tien only took half a day to condense the sword energy, there are 2 kinds of sword energy. You are not allowed to enter this training room, so get out. Shang Mingjie glanced at Nie Tien, his tone full of arrogance. Nie Tien smiled playfully and said, "What if I want to go in?" He is the rookie king. According to the rules of the academy, he has the right to use all cultivation resources first. Not to mention that the cultivation room in front of him is empty. Even if there are people in it, he can let them out. Shang Mingjie was slightly startled, took a step forward, and said coldly, "This is His Highness Bingyie's training room. If you insist on entering, then you are courting death." What a coincidence, the training room Nie Tien wanted to enter was exactly Lan Binji's training room. Although Lan Binji is not in the top 20, in the inner court, he is a prince, so he is also treated as the top 20. And judging from Shang Mingjie's posture, he was Lan Binji's running dog. Nie Tien smiled, without dodging, and said, "What a coincidence, I like to court death. Unfortunately, so far, I haven't met anyone who can kill me." If this was someone else's practice room, Shang Mingjie tried to persuade him, but Nie Tien still had a slight chance of giving up. But this is Lan Binji's practice room, so Nie Tien has to enter it. Really? Shang Mingjie's eyes turned cold, and the long sword behind his back let out a deep sword moan. He is considered number 1 in Baiyun Academy, and no one has ever dared to speak like this in front of him. Shang Mingjie felt that his prestige was being questioned. To him, this is an insult unforgivable.